Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds podcast. I am James. I'm joined by Benji and Zach. How are you both doing?
I'm very good, thank you, James.
I'm very thrilled by the game that we've just watched.
It was an absolute banger. Again, another thriller. This one was a bit more of a low scorer. So Delhi Capitals, they batted first and I think they only got 150 and they nearly pulled it off. We nearly saw KL Rahul bring the absolute chokeability that he inherited from Punjab in years gone by.
And RCB.
And RCB, yeah. He's come from a long line of chokers. And very, very nearly did Lucknow fail. However, big boy Ayesh Badoni comes in at the last minute and hits 10 off 3 like an absolute legend. So that was good to see. We like that. We like Ayesh Badoni. So Benji, what were your thoughts on the Delhi innings?
Well, I was disappointed by David Warner, I'll be honest, which has I actually like that because we all know how we feel about David Warner. Clearly, he's not quite transitioned from Test mode to T20 mode. Just didn't quite look comfortable. Didn't quite look in his regular form. Struggled quite a lot at the top of the innings. However, he was ably supported by Prithvi Shaw, who got off to a flying start and was hit a 50 like almost inside the power play or something. It was like ridiculous striking. It couldn't have been like two different stories either end of that batting attack. I think Prithvi Shaw was like 50 or like 40 something off 29 balls. David Warner was like 3 off 7 or something. It just looked quite entertaining. Robman Powell then came in, didn't do very much, and then Rishabh Pant and Sarfaraz Khan just sort of struggled. Both of them didn't look very convincing. I thought a little bit of that was down to the tidy bowling of Delhi, with the exception of Andrew Ty and Avesh Khan. So it was more the three-pronged spin attack of K. Gautam, Ravi Bishnoi and Krunal Pandya. I think the three of them looked really good, bowled really economically. Actually, none of them went over 6 and over from their overs that they bowled. The pick of them for me was Ravi Bishnoi, who picked up 2 for 22 off his 4 overs, looking really good actually. And yeah, there wasn't really much to write home about the Delhi innings, but it looked like it was Lucknow's game to lose at the end of that innings after that bowling performance. One thing to note is Avesh Khan and Andrew Ty, they got a bit of tap. They their death bowling wasn't quite there, I think, and I think that allowed a few extra runs to be bled at the end. But I think Jason Holder was the one who was able to keep that quite tight in that pace attack. But yeah, for me, it looks like, it was very attainable. 149 for 3, target of 150. Zach, talk us through then Lucknow's reply.
It was an interesting one because it was very much KL Rahul is going to go for it. No, sorry, other way around. Quinton de Kock is going to go for it, and KL Rahul is going to play the anchor innings and try and be there at the end. And that's kind of what you need when you're only chasing 150. When you're chasing 180, 190, you need a couple players to really fire. But in this case, all you need is one batsman to bat through and the other batsman to chip in and score big runs. Because you look at the Lucknow Super Giants team, and they've got KL Rahul, who plays at anchor innings, and then they've got Quinton de Kock, Evan Lewis, Deepak Huda, Krunal Pandya, Ayesh Badoni, who are all big ball strikers and are looking to play that big innings. But what was quite interesting is that when KL Rahul went out for a meager 24 off 25 deliveries, then Evan Lewis came and almost tried to play like KL Rahul, only scoring 5 off 13. Now, we can't really take anything away from Lalit Yadav, who I thought bowled very well and is looking like a pretty decent all-rounder that Delhi have got there. An Indian talent that I wasn't really aware of before the start of the tournament. And also Axar Patel, we know what he's like with the ball. So yeah, there was some good bowling, but Evan Lewis, Deepak Hooda as well, they couldn't really get them away. But then Quinton de Kock, when he got out at the end, I was like, oh, it's now swung in the favour of Delhi. They've got the likes of Mustafizur Rahman, who's a very good death bowler. And I thought, that's it. They're not going to win. And I was about to think, right, on the podcast, I'm going to mention the Lucknow Super Giants think tank as the villain because they've sent in Krunal Pandya, who's missing the ball. And then, lo and behold, Krunal Pandya strikes a 6, and that's it. It's basically game over. And Ayush Badoni just had to finish it off. So, yeah, it ended up being quite comfortable in the end, even though it was obviously not an easy pitch to bat on. And I think that's surprising given the scores that have happened at the DY Patil Stadium so far, especially when we saw Royal Challengers versus Kings 11 Punjab at that stadium. But yeah, obviously the pitch that was prepared wasn't great for batting. James, heroes and villains.
Well, yeah, I'd like to just point out a few players. So Lalit Yadav definitely is a hero. I thought, I absolutely agree. He bowled really well. He's someone that Mumbai had him for a few years. And I think they only ever would play him against Delhi. And he'd do really well against Delhi. I've got a feeling that's right. He'd only be played against one certain team and he'd do brilliantly against them because he's just an off-spinning all-rounder. And then they wouldn't play him for the rest of the season. So Lalit Yadav, yeah, I think was a great purchase. And it's nice to see him getting some more opportunities than just 2 games a season. I think another obvious hero is Quinton de Kock. It's a very, very good innings. But it was ably supported by a villain of the tail, which was Anrik Nortje, who, coming back from injury, this is his first game after a while, bowled 2 stinky beamer no balls and ended up being taken out of the attack after only 2.2 overs. And he'd conceded 35 runs in those 2.2. He was bowling really, really poorly. So unfortunate, it kind of feels like Delhi retained the wrong South African fast bowler. And yeah, I think the other obvious villain of the tail for me is Rishabh Pant. And that's because of his captaincy. His bowling choices were relatively poor, I thought, because we had Axar Patel, who bowled brilliantly, bowled 2 overs, only went for 11 runs, but he only bowled the 2 overs. We had Anrik Nortje, who on his very first over went for 19 runs, and he was still trusted to bowl what they wanted to be 2 more overs. So quite why they're giving Anrik Nortje 3 overs and Axar Patel only 2. And Axar Patel is obviously bowling really well, and they're only defending a total of 150. It's very poor captaincy, I think, and it kind of showed his inexperience. And then also another hero. It was my dark horse right at the start in our predictions. Kuldeep Yadav. I thought it was a day for the leggies today. And Kuldeep Yadav bowled really well. He kept a cool head the whole time.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I think, Nortje was definitely, he just didn't look comfortable when he was bowling, whether it's because he's still not fully recovered himself from his injury, possibly. I'm not really sure what's going on there with Nortje, or whether it was the fact that the ball was soaked in dew and he couldn't grip it. But yeah, at that level, at the professional level, you can't be bowling that many beamers. So I think it was definitely right for him to be taken out of the attack. I mean, if we played those rules in our games, I'd be out of the attack in the second over that I bowl. But yeah, it's just, all credit to Quinton de Kock for really coming out and attacking Nortje. Like he hit him for 3 4s and a 6 in his first over, and then I think he hit him for a no ball 6, and then the other one where he was not out because he was caught, but it was also another no ball. So yeah, I did feel a bit for Nortje. My villain, I've been waiting to say this all season, but my villain is David Warner. For all the mentions that I said earlier, for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier. And my hero is good old Ravi Bishnoi. I think he bowled fantastically. He really, kept it tight. And actually, I would actually extend that to the look now spinners, because it was because of them that they were able to keep that scoring so low, which actually allowed them in the end to chase down that total. I feel like if they didn't bowl that tight, then they'd have had a bigger total to chase. And also, Krishnappa Gautam, like, he's actually doing something at look now when he didn't do anything at all at Chennai. So I'm a little bit salty about that. That's why I didn't mention him. But yeah, Zach, what did you think about heroes and villains?
I think a big hero for Delhi would have to be Prithvi Shaw with his quick fire 60, and that's what they need, because at the moment I'm looking at Delhi's batting, I'm looking at their replacements, and I'm not sure, but I'm not sure why, but they're not really firing. Like we saw Rishabh Pant today. I don't know if it was the pitch or if he didn't look comfortable. And Rishabh Pant, he's the player who, in years gone past, you can bank on him scoring you 50 off 30 balls most games. So the fact that he's struggling isn't great for Delhi. David Warner's come into the team and looked dreadful. Bring back Tim Seifert for him. Rovman Powell, yes, he's a big hitting West Indian, but can he do it on a consistent basis? 3 off 10. That's a test match innings, really, that we see from England. It's not an IPL innings, is it? So, and then you look at the replacements. Isn't Mitch Marsh injured?
Yeah,
I think he is.
So that's a massive blow, because they've not really got much batting. They, like, when you look at their squad, that they need Prithvi Shaw, David Warner, and Rishabh Pant to score all the runs, really, because there isn't much there. I know Lalit Yadav did well in, I think, the first game, so hopefully he can continue that. But yeah, there's not much there, and that's the biggest worry for them. So I don't know, maybe the villain is Mitch Marsh's injury costing them here. But yeah.
Now, lads, we've had, by popular request, we want to do a revised predictions. And I'm only saying just top 4. Who you think's going to make the playoffs? Revised edition. So I'm happy to kick things off. I think I was mostly right in the first place. So I'm still going to say that KKR and Punjab Kings are going to reach the... going to be in that top 4. I also think RCB now and Rajasthan Royals. So I think my top 4 before was KKR, Rajasthan, Punjab, and can't remember who else. Maybe Delhi or something, or Lucknow. I can't remember. But yeah, I think my revised top 4 in order is at the very, very top. I'm going to say Royal Challengers Bangalore. Yeah, that's for you, Zach. Don't you worry. Then it's going to be the Punjab Kings, who are eventually going to win, just saying. But, as far as the league standings, I think Punjab are going to end up second. I think KKR third, and then Rajasthan fourth. But overall, Punjab will win the IPL. They
James,
will.
I think you're in dream world. Punjab, I know you want to get all the supporters excited, but I don't think it'll be Punjab. I don't think they'll even be top 4. I'm going to really flip on my predictions. I know I had Delhi and Mumbai in my top 4. Yeah, they haven't got a hope. I think it's now going to be KKR as my top spot. I then think Gujarat Titans are going to come out. They've looked really good. I don't think we've given them enough credit, but I think Gujarat Titans, Lucknow Super Giants, and Royal Challengers Bangalore. I'm not sure of the order of LSG and RCB, because LSG is sometimes looking quite shaky. But RCB are going to be a fearsome team once Hazelwood and Maxwell are now fully in that side. So yeah, KKR, Lucknow Super Giants, Gujarat Titans, and RCB as my new revised top 4.
My revised top 4, I'm going to stick with 2 of them. I'm going to keep RCB, obviously. I'm going to keep Lucknow Super Giants. I feel like they've got quite a few bases covered still, and they're definitely staying in my top 4. I'm going to move KKR into my top 4 as well. I almost say Gujarat Titans. I meant KKR because I don't know, they just have a lot of match winners, and I think I didn't recognise that at the start. But in terms of that 4th place, I feel like Gujarat Titans could do it but they're a new team, right? So I feel like the experience of CSK or Mumbai Indians, something's going to happen with one of those.
Oh,
two
you
teams.
grotty little man. No, it's definitely going to be Punjab. You can't be dragging up one of CSK and Mumbai who have lost 3 on the bounce
Yeah,
at the
but
start.
I don't know.
Listen,
Not having
listen,
it.
CSK
listen.
could win 10 on the bounce.
Mumbai
Yeah.
Indians in the past have lost 6 games in a row at the start of the tournament and won the competition. Don't write Mumbai Indians off. Don't write CSK off, right? I may be sounding quite emotional in what I'm saying, but I'm not saying Punjab Kings all the way. Sorry.
You're
I
sounding
take it
a
back.
bit bitter.
RCB
It's like
are
you're
going to
sounding a bit
lose.
bitter.
I'm not sounding bitter.
You're
Like,
sounding bitter
hats off
against
to-
Mumbai Indians.
against Mumbai Indians. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying they could make it into the top 4. That's not bitter at all.
Right.
There you go.
So
There you go.
there are our revised predictions. Mine's the right one. Yeah. So
Fair
leave your questions down below. We'd like to have a Cricket Nerds questions session. So any questions you have, leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are really close to our 200 subscriber milestone. So, keep on firing those subscriptions. Tell your friends, tell your grandparents, tell your parents, tell your teachers. I don't really know
And
what
your
else
dog.
there is. Tell your dog. Make a YouTube account for your dog. Watch all our videos. You know what to do. So we will see you guys later. Don't forget to follow our social medias. We are at Cricket Nerds Pod on Instagram and Twitter. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.